record now that we're
Yeah, we'll try and keep it
yeah.
as
Now we're
NSFW as we can.
right. Now we're live.
Cool.
Everything's now on the record. So
With Greta Van Susteren, yet another woman who is no longer with Fox News because apparently sexual harassment is the name of the game at that channel.
like the woman that looks like she's had a stroke.
Yeah, like Greta Van Susteren, that she had like uh I'm not trying to be offensive when I say this,
Yeah,
but
no, go ahead.
but Fox News, generally speaking, you are not a female that works there unless you're an 8.5 or above.
Well, yeah, I'll
And
give you that.
and Greta
And
was
she
like
was not
she was like a 6.7.
because she well, oh yeah, she had that
That
stroke face.
well, she had a pretty powerful jaw. It almost looked like her jaw had been rebuilt,
Yeah,
like she had an accident or something.
yeah.
But like she was one of them, and another one was I her name escapes me, but she was the woman that kind of had a little bit of a lazy eye,
Mm-hmm.
and she just got awarded like $20 million from the former CEO of Fox News, who incidentally enough is now in charge of the Trump campaign. Because,
Nice.
yeah, because Trump doesn't have to deal with enough sexist remarks that his number one guy, that he hired, is under a mountain of scrutiny for sexual harassment. And
Right.
honestly, and I'm not taking up for, there is no excuse for sexual harassment. If a woman says no, she freaking means it, leave her alone. But when you're walking around a building filled with supermodels, you got to walk on freaking eggshells, man, because how do you say hello to some of those women without commenting on how lovely they look?
Right.
I mean, good Lord. Uh, Megan Kelly, stunning.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely stunning. Like, if I was ever in politics or anything, I would probably only ever do interviews with podcasters like Joe Rogan and stuff like that because I could never be on Fox News. I'd be a blithering idiot. I mean,
Right.
if Kimberly Guilfoyle tried to interview me, I would just be like, "Yeah, your hair is perfect. How do you have such hair?" I
Right.
mean,
How do you have hair?
mm, is it everywhere? Wait, no, that's not what I meant. No, don't
Yeah.
arrest me.
Yeah. No, it's true. It's true.
But then you look at like MSNBC and all the other ones, and I'm sure the ladies there are fine journalists, but they don't have the same physical standards.
Right.
Yeah, no, that was just something I've noticed over the years. It doesn't really have any bearing on whatever we're talking about because I guess all we're talking about today is uh,
Well, we both have a topic because
mhm.
you dropped out um, computer glitchy stuff and had to drop out of the discussion the other night. Um, but we didn't get to talk about your recent medical
Adventure.
violation.
Yeah. So I guess you want me to start this train?
Yeah, take us through because I've never had one.
Okay.
I
I'll
don't know how you what
I'll
happens when you have a colonoscopy.
I'll take you on a journey, kids. Okay. Quick backstory. In uh my father's mid to late 40s, he was diagnosed with colon cancer. And everything's fine now. They were able to get it all, so that was all good. But a thing about colon cancer is when an immediate relative, a father or mother, is diagnosed with any kind of cancer, really, 10 to 15 years prior to their diagnosis is the age that you should be when you start getting checked. So let's say my dad got colon cancer at 47. So, 15 years prior to that, at the age of 32, I needed to get checked. And
Right.
the way they do that is you'll go into your you'll set up an appointment with a gastroenterologist, I believe is the name of it. And what they'll do is they'll take your pants off, they'll lay you on your side, and then they will pump you full of propofol, which is the same drug they used to kill Michael Jackson. And let me tell you, kids, that drug is amazing. It is fantastic. Okay. I did not sleep a wink the night before because I'm terrified of being put completely asleep.
Oh yeah,
I-
I've seen too many
Yeah.
medical shows, and even if they're not,
Well, yeah. Well,
even if they're scripted, I'm still
right. Well, my whole thing is, and this kind of ties into what you've been studying, is
right.
I have been fascinated with the concept of consciousness my entire life. I've read numerous books, countless really, trying to discover what exactly consciousness is. And medical science will openly admit that they don't know what it is to be conscious. But what they do know is how to remove the consciousness from you. And that's what those drugs do. They completely remove your conscious mind. And that terrifies me. It really does. And so I was nervous going in there, and they were talking to me in the OR and everything like that. And they said, okay, well, we're going to start administering the anesthesia now. And I was like, okay. And they warm the anesthesia to 98.6 to where it doesn't shock your blood, when it goes in there, because you don't want something cold just going into your vein. And so I could feel the warmth go down this tube that was laying on my arm as it went into my vein. And within a couple of seconds, I started feeling this just amazing sensation, these little pinpricks and tingles all over my body. And I just kind of went, whoa, that stuff kicks in fast. And they were like, yeah, it works pretty good, doesn't it? And I was like, yeah, it's strange though. It almost feels like a cannabis, but like an edible cannabis. And they all just died laughing. And I was like, okay, I'm going to see how long I can hold on to this. And then the next thing I knew, I was wide awake, and
Right.
in the recovery room, and I was like, "Wow, that was fantastic." Because used to, I had a hernia surgery about 20 years ago, and used to the medicine they gave you to knock you out, it took a while to come out of it, like you were in a state of just confusion and lethargy for hours trying to come out of it. But now it's instant. They give you an injection and bam, you're instantly awake. You're fully aware of what's going on. And I do what I always do in circumstances like this. The nurse. Oh, hold on, just 1 second. Oh, can we pause? I got to take this.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Hello? My what? Oh, well, I'm recording a podcast right now. Okay, bye. Sorry, apparently my food is here and I didn't know it.
Well, there you go.
So yeah, you instantly come out of it, and it's amazing. It really is fascinating. And I instantly started making jokes, like the one of the nurses said, well, how was it? And I just kind of jokingly said, well, it would have been a lot better if he would have kissed me on the neck first.
Nah.
It's everybody likes to feel appreciated. And they all died laughing. One of them actually doubled over laughing so hard. And
Do you think they'd be used to jokes like that at this point?
yeah, well, yeah, you would think, but it's just it's one of those things that it's really strange because that itself was not the problem. What bothered me was the doctor came out and he said that yeah, everything looks good from what we saw, but we weren't able to see everything we wanted to. Uh, you are you masturbating? You're breathing awful heavy.
Oh, it's the way I'm sitting.
Oh, okay. Um,
Sorry.
I mean, I get the story's kind of hot, but
No, I was leaned over and it was putting pressure on my diaphragm.
oh, okay.
So,
The doctor was like, you know, we weren't able to see everything we want to, so you're gonna have to actually go to another doctor in a few days and get what's called a barium enema. And first off, for a few days before you have a colonoscopy, you have to go on a liquid diet and you have to drink this certain type of medicine that completely cleans you out. I mean, completely. By the end of it, you're shitting pure water. I mean, there is nothing in your colon. There's not even any coloration in your freaking colon. And so he told me I was going to have to go get this barium enema. And I thought, okay, what's that all about? And he was like, well, they'll stick a hose up your ass again. You won't be asleep this time. And this barium shows up in x rays. And what it'll do is they'll shoot it up in there and then they will x-ray and that will allow us to see the rest of your colon as well as your large and small intestine just to check for blockages and to see if there's any polyps or anything like that that they couldn't see for whatever reason. You know, they said something in the order of like 1 in 20 people they're just not able to see everything in a colonoscopy. I was like, okay, no worries. And so I had to take more laxatives and stuff over the next couple of days. And I swear my ass has not got that much attention since I happened along a pride parade in New York one time. I mean, it was just like the entire world was focused on my ass. And I went down to Tyler and to Mother Francis, no, ETMC. And they took me back into the back and stuff like that. And the first thing I noticed was all three of the nurses involved were attractive. The ugliest was like an 8.2. Very attractive women, and I thought, oh, fantastic. And so they got me changed into.
I love the fact that your rating system is in decimals.
Oh, it's very exact.
Like most people are like, "Oh, she's a 6, she's a 9." No, like you break it down. Most people have a range of 1 through 10, but you have 100 degrees
Well,
of rate here.
it's because I find women to be beautiful creatures, and I don't think that they should be painted with a broad brush. I think they're works of art, and they should be treated as individuals. But that's just me.
That's
Uh,
funny.
so they were all very pretty, and they talked me through it. They told me what was going to go on, and they put me on this X-ray table, and then they lifted my skirt, and then they took this hose and they shoved it up my ass. And if the hose was 1 inch long, it was 14. Okay. When I say it was 14 inches long, I'm not kidding. They started putting it in my butt and they just kept going. And I kept telling myself, relax.
I can't on my clothes right now because I'm going to bed.
Okay. Sorry.
Okay. I kept telling myself, relax, relax, relax your body. It'll make it easier. But my brain and my butt were not on the same page. my brain was telling me relax, but my butt was like, no, this is wrong. This is wrong in so many ways. And it was weird because it's like they kept hitting a corner. Like every now and then it would be easing in, and then all of a sudden it would feel like I got stabbed. And I was like, oh! And they kept going and going and going and going. And then finally, you could tell it was the most bizarre feeling in the world. You could tell when they actually entered your colon, because it was like it was going, oh, it's in. And it was strange. Like the second it was in, the pain went away. Like all I can figure is maybe that's what it's like for a woman when she's a virgin. Like it hurts on the way in, but once it's where it was supposed to be, the pain kind of went away. That's all I can figure. I know that sounds weird, but that's the only way I can describe it. And then they said, okay, now we're going to inflate the balloon. And I was like, balloon, you say? And she said, yes, there's a balloon at the end of this hose inside you, and it's going to inflate your colon, and then we're going to shoot the barium enema up in there. And I was like, okay.
So
And
they
she was-
basically motorboated your colon.
yeah.
Nice.
And and it was the damnedest thing. That was the least painful part. When they inflated the balloon, that didn't bother me at all. Whenever they started shooting the barium up in there, it felt strange. It felt like I had drank a lot of water. It was that seriously, that's all it was. It didn't hurt. It just felt like I had drank lots of water. But again, these ladies were very attractive, and the entire time they were rubbing me. Like anytime they were lining up for an x-ray, they would feel of my chest, they would reach down and feel of my pelvis and stuff like that to make sure everything was lined up. Anytime they could see I was uncomfortable, one of them would come up and start caressing my head. And when it came
Interesting.
and when it came time to kind of let gravity help move the barium up into my intestines and whatnot, the table I was laying on, the x-ray table, actually started inverting, like standing me on my head kind of thing, And when they inverted it like that, one of the women actually reached forward with both hands and held my inner thighs.
Well,
And
okay then.
was holding my inner thighs while another woman was caressing my head and another one was feeling of my chest. And the entire time, all I could think was, don't get wood, don't get wood, don't get wood, don't get wood. Because that would be the worst time to get an erection.
Oh yeah.
Because you would have to do your damnedest to explain to them, this is not your kink. Okay, I'm not into this. I don't want this to be my thing. And so that went on for a while, and they took they took like 36 images. I was in that state for well over an hour, and then they laid me back down, and then they drained, which was really weird. They said, okay, we're going to start draining the barium now. They laid me back down, and they turned on this suction thing, and I could feel it being sucked out of me, and I looked down at my stomach, and I could actually see my stomach deflating because they were sucking the barium out of me. And God, it was just so weird. But whenever they said, okay, it's time to take it out, go ahead and roll over on your left side again, I rolled over on my left side, and it hurt almost as bad coming out as it did going in. Because I guess all I can figure is because like the lube had worn off, because they do lube it up before they put it in you. So all I guess is maybe the lube had kind of dried off or whatever inside me. And she started pulling, and it just kept coming and coming and coming and
Like a
coming.
clown pulling a handkerchief out.
Yes. Like a clown pulling a handkerchief made out of hard freaking rubber. And it was terrible. And as soon as it was out, they were like, okay, all right, you're all done. So you can go in the bathroom and move out anything else that may be inside you, and you can go ahead and get changed. And so everything looks good to go. And I rolled over and I was like, okay, does that mean we're all dating now? Or and they just kind of laughed. They yeah, so that's what happened to me. I got changed and got the hell out of there. I still haven't heard results, but I don't have, my doctor's appointment is next week. So I
Don't
should
you
hear.
just hate after that when they don't call you back?
Yeah. I mean, seriously.
It's the least they could do.
Yeah, they could have at least sent me a text and been like, "Hey, miss you, babe."
Right.
But
They're
so I
they're
haven't,
ghosting you, man.
yeah, so I haven't heard anything back yet. But the way I look at it is, no news is good news. If
Right.
they had found something, I would know by now. But basically, the long story short out of all this is, I will never again try and pressure a woman into anal. I'll bring it up if she's into it. Great, but I'm not going to try and pressure her into it ever, because now I know.
And half the battle.
Yeah, and let me tell you, that tube is nothing compared to what I got, so I can't imagine what kind of pain women have to endure. Or gays, for that matter. They do that for fun.
Right?
They all love that stuff. I don't get it. But yeah, that's my story of becoming a man.
Right.
Because I'm no longer a butt virgin, guys.
Yeah, and it's weird because if you take about 75% of that story
Mhm.
out of context, like take the medical filler out of it,
Yeah.
and it reads like a sexual experience.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. No, I have no doubt that a lot of people come out of there asking themselves if they're gay, because
Right.
I mean, at the end of the day,
Like, did I enjoy that?
when hey, straight up, dude, when they were rubbing all over my body, and especially when that woman was gently holding and rubbing my inner thighs, I don't know what to think. I felt I can't imagine they do that with everybody. Like, lining up my chest with the x-ray, that part I get. But when I say she was holding my inner thighs, I'm saying it was mostly fingertips.
Right.
So I'm not complaining at all. But I can't imagine that's how they treat every man. If it is, by all means, go get yourself a Barry Minima, guys. Because every man needs to know. Every man needs to know what that's all about. But I will say, for sure, I get now why Michael Jackson used to take that propofol every night, because good Lord. Because like I said, I did not sleep a wink the night before because I was so nervous. And but man, when they gave me those drugs and I woke up, I felt like $1,000,000. I felt like I had slept for 12 hours and I was rejuvenated. I was ready to go. And those nurses, when I first woke up after the colonoscopy, they were like, "Do you need to use the restroom?" I was like, "Yeah, I need to go." And they were like, "Okay, let me help you stand up." And I popped right up. I was like, "No, I'm good." "Well, do you need help to the bathroom?" "No, I got it." Inside, I was thinking, "Oh, honey, you have no idea how many drugs I've taken. This is, I'm good to drive right now." But yeah. always get yourself checked out. That's the biggest thing, that if you take anything out of this, it is always embrace preventative measures. We live in a world now where insurance is out there. If you have a family that has a history of heart disease or diabetes or cancer, preventative measures are out there. So go get yourself checked out. That's my story.
Well, that was a good story.
Thank you.
That was a good story.
Yeah.
I've never had a colonoscopy before, so that was it was interesting.
Yeah.
Have
you
not
ever
gonna run out and get one.
do you have a family history of any of that stuff?
I don't think so.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
like, I know
mostly heart disease.
Right. That's what I was about to say. Have you ever had stress tests or anything like that for your heart?
Yeah. Well, I've had one stress test before.
Mm-hmm.
But my blood work always comes back clean.
Mm.
And we've talked about that before. I mean, Steph and I got. I completely forgot we'd even done this. Steph and I got life insurance last year, and they I don't know, and I talked about this last year when this happened, but they didn't tell us that we were going to have to do all of this all these extra things to get it.
Mm-hmm.
We misunderstood what the guy told us, and that we're going to have to get blood work done and urine tests and all this other stuff. And the woman even made us both stand on a scale and whatnot. But my blood work, I mean, I'm 100 pounds overweight, but my blood work is always clean.
Yeah.
There are no red flags on my blood work, and there never have been.
Huh.
I have had, for the last 10 years, semi-regular CBC done, and I've never had a red flag on my blood work before.
Hey, some people just have good blood.
And so I have that going, I guess. But yeah, like all of the pre-op stuff I've had to do for my knees, and I had to have my gallbladder removed, and all that blood work has always come back clean. I've had elective blood workup done several times over the last 10 years, and it's always come back. My cholesterol's always been fine. I've never had any red flags show up in any of my blood work.
That's good.
So I'm not pre-diabetic, or like my blood sugar's always been great. I think it's just the way that I can just carry a lot of weight. I mean, I think that's all it is. So, well, you've had a eye-opening experience.
Round eye.
Right? Nice. That's nicely done. And I've had one as well. And Mikey and I talked about this, but you weren't there. So I'll give you kind of the condensed version, because I went on probably 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And I want to rehash.
You broke up. Hello? Hello? Oh, Chris. Hello.
Are we good? Hello?
There you are.
Okay.
It's a sign.
Right. I don't know what that was. I want to turn that.
Yeah, there you go again.
Out again.
Hello?
Hold.
Hello. Try unplugging your mic and then plugging her back in. Okay, I heard you breathe.
Hold on.
Okay, I got you.
Okay.
Cool.
Hopefully it'll hold this time. Is it working now? Hold on. Hold on. Is it still bad?
No, you're good.
Okay. Yeah, Steph turned on Netflix for Blake,
Yeah.
and it sucking all the bandwidth. Because that's what Netflix. So, as a
There you go again.
month, like 3 days in free of my meds, my Lexapro, and I did 1 to 10 milligram in a second month at 20 because at
Dude, I keep
like
losing
3
you.
weeks. Damn it. Okay.
Do you want to relaunch?
It won't help.
Oh,
It's
okay.
because Netflix is killing my bandwidth. It's just not going to work. We've got your half, and I'll wrap a tag around it, and we can try again.
Well, honestly, you're clear as a bell at the moment.
Yeah, but I don't know how long it will be. So, so yeah, we got your part, and what I may do is just slap this on the other episode thing. Just be like, hey, Beach had a dropout. This is what he wanted to talk about, and slap it on at the end.
Yeah, just
or something.
Make it a part 2.
Yeah, and just make it one long. So
yeah,
we'll try and talk about the meditation Buddhism thing.
Okay.
Again later. Because I don't know how
right, and I've also got
long food.
I've also got like an hour-long unreleased episode of Monkey's Pod about religion. So.
Okay, well, cool. Works out then.
Yeah.
So. And maybe try to watch No Mercy. It started at 7.
Oh yeah, I do have WWE Network, so.
So yeah, but all right, man. I'll talk to you later.
Later, bro.